Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Nigerians watched with so much shock and surprise over what transpired yesterday during the plenaries, both the green and the red chambers. A lot of activists, a lot of human rights activists, senior advocates of Nigerians, lawyers, even the NBA literally called the attention of Mr. President over the constitutional misinterpretation that was about to take place, and the fact that bringing in a sole administrator in that circumstances was really undemocratic. Of course, they all relied, the opposition parties led by Atiku Abubakar relied on the senators, the Green and the Red Chamber, to at least put things to perspective, proper perspective. Alas, it didn't happen. Well, it looks like the citizens have decided to put the next stage. The question now is, will Nigerians react to it? Let's find out in a moment. As the NBA Citizens Engagement Committee, led by Kunle Edun, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, has called on Nigerians to initiate the recall of legislators who voted in support of the controversial state of emergency in Rivers State. Now, this resolution was reached during an emergency meeting held on March 20th, 2025, where the committee strongly condemned the move as unconstitutional. In a statement issued after the meeting, the committee outlined the following key resolutions. 1. Support for NBA's stance. Remember, NBA spoke about this matter concerning it. Their stand too is also with the other lawyers. Their stand also correspond with so a whole lot of them spoke concerning this matter. But let's find out what they are saying now. According to them, they say the committee reaffirmed its full support for the Nigerian Bar Association's condemnation of the state of emergency declaration and the suspension of the governor, deputy governor, and the Rivers State House of Assembly. Now, the criticism of the National Assembly, it accused both chambers of the National Assembly of betraying Nigerians by failing to meet the quorum. Yes, the quorum requirement, and unlawfully adopting a voice note on a critical constitutional matter violating section 305 subsection 3 of the Constitution. Oh, we heard, we didn't even know how many people voted, but let's continue anyway. The call for transparency. The committee urged the Nigerians to demand that their senators and representatives publicly disclose their stance and participation in the process. Recall process. They also asked that Nigerians were encouraged to initiate recall proceedings in their constituencies against legislators who supported what the committee described as an unconstitutional action. They also called for lawful resistance. Of course, there's an unlawful resistance, there's a lawful one. Now, the committee urged citizens to remain law-abiding while using the legitimate legal proceedings to challenge what it termed official impunity. Now, Kunle Edun, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, emphasized that this move is essential to safeguarding democracy and preventing unconstitutional overreach by political leaders. Now, the committee called on civil society, organizations of all kinds, and legal advocates to mobilize against the suppression of democratic principles. Okay, but let's look at this very critically without mincing words and let's be very practical with this. Nigerians over time have remained aloof over so many things. One, the call for recall process has always been one hackling task that Nigerians have always been shying away from. But it's amazing how very quickly they are twisting Kogi Central constituency to recall Natasha. And unfortunately, they are not even using the proper means. They are saying they are giving them, according to Rufai Oseni, he said that they're promising them empowerment. So some of her constituency people thinking that their government is going to give them, or some certain individuals are going to give them empowerment schemes and empowerment to produce and materials, decided to register and append their signature. But in actual fact, they want to fraudulently use it as a recall process. But this committee is saying, Nigerians, you voted them in. You have every right to demand to know where your constitution. Because I watched it where they said that those who suppose say aye, those who are against say nay. The next thing we heard aye, the ayes have it. Without the stage walkout that happened, the likes of Engineer Baribe did not vote. He walked out. Gospel Akpabio never allowed them proper processes where they should debate, their stand. They had to go into closed door session, of which, based on what they were saying, they just knew that this whole thing is already is not going to. They're about to play down a lot of things. The stage they walk out. Aina Baribe stage they walk out. Dixon was not there. Tambuwa, there's not. In fact, Tambuwa is as if it's not existing in the Senate, because they never allowed that guy to speak, no matter what. Of course, we all understand that Gospel Akpabio and Wike are close allies. So definitely there's some certain persons that Gospel Akpabio will never give room for them to ever speak their mind. So of course, Tambuwa did not vote. Ndume was not even in the closed door session. So some of these big boys, now the question is, if many people have staged the walkout, so where are the two-third majority that say the ayes have it? Now, if everybody else staged the walkout, and the people who are there are the people who have agreed to vote, quote and unquote, let's just assume. So how do we know that it met a quorum of two-thirds? If you watch the video, you will notice that the whole chamber was almost deserted, just a handful of people. We can't continue like this. Our elections are not so transparent. They will tell us free, credible, and fair elections. Beavers will not work when it's supposed to work. It will only work after elections. But during the elections, Beavers never works. And you begin to wonder, what is really going on? Why is it that when it matters the most, we don't get to see what we want? And then we begin to hear all manner of things. Now, the people have been saying, okay, engage. We wanted a live session. They went on closed session, which we understand. And they debated on it. And people did not vote in. But another thing that catches my attention, unfortunately, is the fact that Nigerians over time have let go. The corruption has become so much that they really don't care. During the elections, they will not come out to vote. They just know that their vote don't count. Because Judiciary have literally taken. Now, NBA is now saying, you still have the right. Now, you're telling them that they should go through the legal means and, take whatever they need to take to court. Is it the same court, or are you telling us a different court? Is it the same judiciary, or are you advocating for another judiciary? Is there another court you're advising Nigerians to take their grievances to, or is it the court of heaven you are telling us to go? Because if it's the same court, just fairly recently, the breaking one, Samuel Anyanwu, Supreme Court have validated him now. He is now the secretary. All those things that Okoye had, all those proofs that Okoye brought and PDP brought, is now nullified. Supreme Court are reinstated Samuel Anyanwu. It's as if Wike and the Supreme Court, they are 5 and 6. Whatever you people want to do in your lower chamber, that's your business. Lower court, do your thing. But when it gets to Supreme Court, I have my way and I have my say. Allegedly, it's becoming very predictable and unfortunately not very nice. If you in a hush tone, if you hear Nigerians speak in their private discussions, on my way to the studio this morning, I overheard Nigerians, some set of people, discussing vehemently. Like I went to buy 1 or 2 things on the roadside, while waiting for the studio to open up this morning. I noticed, unfortunately, that some Nigerians were having a hearty discussion, and some of them, let me just tell you the picture that is being painted out there. They believe there are 3 people governing this country, 3 arms of government. They said the executive is being controlled by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, rightly so. The legislature is being controlled by Gospel Akpabio, rightly so. But they said the judiciary is being controlled by Nyesom Wike, which is wrongly so. So I think the judiciary really needs to wake up, because they are beginning to look at it. Is it Wike's judiciary? Just some fairly recent, for some weeks back, Sowore mentioned him, said, and when you go to the judicial quarters in Abuja, they call Wike the judicial golden boy. It's beginning to play out, and it's showing, and it's actually smelling. Let's go wrap it up. Let's put in the comment section what's your take.